Thus far in our tour of business analysis, and more specifically needs assessment, we've done a lot of work. First, we've helped to establish our goals, or at least learned about what they are, from research that we've done, interviews that we've conducted with different members within our organization. We've learned more about the strategic philosophy behind our business and the types of problems or opportunities that we should be focused on accordingly. Following that, we went on to identify those problems and opportunities and figured out which one we wanted to investigate at this time. From there, we were able to develop some objectives as to how we can help to either combat that problem or leverage the opportunity in question. From there, we went on to catalog our current capabilities and have an understanding of what we are able to do right now as an organization. Then, we outline what the desired capabilities must be in order to complete those objectives and either solve that problem or take advantage of that opportunity. At this point, we have a few more steps left in our business analysis lifecycle. We need to develop recommendations for the gaps that we've identified in our current capabilities versus what we need to be capable of in the future. We need to describe a specific approach to how we are going to fill these gaps. And we should try to share several different alternatives that are worth other key stakeholders considering. Oftentimes, there's not just one way to solve a problem. There may be more or less complex or costly solutions that are more or less comprehensive in nature. They may only temporarily solve a problem or leverage an opportunity, or they might set us up for long-term success. The cost benefit of these isn't always necessarily up to just us to determine. In fact, most of the time, we are simply gathering the information and providing analysis so that either others can make decisions or we can work alongside others to build consensus toward an alternative worth choosing. From here, we need to analyze the feasibility of each approach so that the stakeholders we share these alternatives with have some perspective and an objective viewpoint to work with when considering each alternative. Then we should rank these approaches based on an objective set of merits to further help our stakeholders in their decision-making process. To do so, we also have to create high-level overviews for each of the different alternatives that we might have in mind. These help to describe how capability gaps can be filled, but it lacks the detail of a formal project plan. Here, we just want to give the general roadmap for how each alternative would work. It's not up to us or appropriate at the moment to go ahead and provide all of the details that we would need to complete these alternative methods. Instead, we simply want to provide an idea of what might be entailed, what the cost might be, and some objective estimates as to the timeline. Oftentimes, these high-level overviews can help serve as the foundation for project charters that are later created so that action can begin to take place. The business analyst should coordinate with technical experts as necessary in order to provide adequate and accurate details here. Sometimes we don't need all of the details up front, but there certainly could be certain key details that we very much do need to consider even at this early point in order to make a fair decision about which alternative, if any, to go with. When describing these alternatives, we do need to remember that more than one path is almost always possible, and that while the best option may seem obvious to you, it may be much less obvious to others. After all, they may be coming from different viewpoints and certainly are working with different information than you are. As a business analyst, you have been able to obtain information from a wide swath of sources throughout the organization, and you may have a better idea of how things actually work on the ground throughout every portion of the process that's involved than most other stakeholders do, given that their expertise is in whatever portion they're most directly responsible for. As such, the analyst may typically make recommendations, but not final decisions, and so we need to provide these alternatives, even if we don't necessarily think that all of them are equally strong, because if nothing else, they can help to lend valuable context to our recommendations and allow these decision makers to understand where we're coming from and to make the best choice possible.